Okay, so we're going to talk today about happy hormones. The thing about happy hormones is they make us happy, but unfortunately they need a little bit of a balance. So there's also some other happy hormones that are really useful in your body most of the time, but other times they can be unhappy hormones. So let's talk about stress to begin with. Everybody's aware of stress. The stresses of our lives, and the phone bills, and the parking fines, and the phone messages, and the time limits, and all of those types of things are psychological stresses. What most people aren't aware of is those psychological stresses cause a physical and biochemical change in your body. So it actually causes a biochemistry in your body, the exact same biochemistry as if you stubbed your toe, or if you ran a marathon, or if you were in a sauna. That's a physical stressor. And then on top of that, there is an emotional stressor and a mental stressor. So a mental stressor is something there that if you're focusing on for too long, say for instance, watching an excessive amount of videos on YouTube, they can also cause you a mental stress. Focusing on something for too long is going to cause you the same biochemistry as a physical or emotional stress. So if we're talking about the biochemistry of that, what we're talking about is the nutrients it takes to make that stress hormone. That stress hormone is called adrenaline. And adrenaline is your fight or flight hormone. Originally it was made so that you could run away from a saber-toothed tiger. Running away from a saber-toothed tiger is a short-lived type of thing. And the issue there is we're supposed to create that adrenaline to get you going, to get that thing done, to get to the next stage, to get to wherever it's going. Unfortunately, these days, we go through the process of getting that thing done and then going and getting another thing done, and then another thing done, and then another thing done, and we're not quite getting down to a downtime or a place where we're not using that adrenaline anymore. To create that adrenaline, just like you can see in the diagram, it takes a whole bunch of vitamins and nutrients. The first nutrient that you need to create any hormone in your body is protein. So proteins usually come from animal-based foods, and they can come from the combination of either a grain plus a pulse. So that's a legume plus a grain. So most traditional style foods, things like Mexican, will have your kidney beans as well as your rice. In Asian-based foods, we've got soybeans in the context of tofu and rice noodles. When we're talking about Mediterranean-style foods, we've got corns and legumes like chickpeas. So those combinations form proteins in your body as well, the building blocks of any hormone. The next stage after you've had those proteins is to break down those proteins into amino acids. So your stomach acid has to work properly to do that. Then you've got to add zinc, B1, B3, and then a cascade of vitamin C, magnesium, B6, B5, and you get to dopamine. Dopamine's your aggressive hormone, your get stuff done hormone. And a lot of us use that every day to get and be and do and have and feel the things that we want to feel. The issue there is we're going to be using up a lot of nutrients to be, do, have and feel. And if we don't have any downtime to let those nutrients to our other pathways in our body, like our immune system or our reproductive hormones, then we're actually going to suck those nutrients away into this stress pathway. What happens there is if we're creating dopamine and adrenaline all the time, if we're creating our get stuff done and worry and be and stress, all of those same vitamins and nutrients, like vitamin C and zinc for instance, are the two main nutrients that keep our skin integrity together. So if you've got skin issues and you're stressing all the time, there is probably an issue with your zinc and vitamin C. If you're putting your body under a lot of stress, then zinc and vitamin C also get used for your immune system. A lot of us get run down, that feeling of run down, and we wonder why at the end of our stress periods and we go on our holidays, why we get sick. We've been using up all our zinc and vitamin C to get stuff done, and our immune system, when we go on holidays, goes, oh, hold on, you forgot about me. All of a sudden we get sick from an issue with our zinc and vitamin C. Also, you can see in that pathway list, there's magnesium. Magnesium, zinc, vitamin C and proteins are used to look after your reproductive system. When you're running away from a saber-toothed tiger, you don't have time to have babies. You don't have time to be sick, so all of those shut down and it all goes towards your stress hormones. So often we'll have issues with reproduction and PMS and things like that because of our stress pathways. After we've dealt with those stress pathways, we'll expand our picture out to include your happy hormone, serotonin, and your other hormone, Gaba. So these are all of your neurotransmitters. Serotonin is one that a lot of people know because of the prevalence of antidepressants nowadays. Serotonin is your happy hormone that connects you with joy and love and feelings of connectedness with other people. So we want a lot of this. The issue there is, if you see from the top of the diagram, you'll see that it also comes from your proteins. It also needs zinc, B1, B3, vitamin C, magnesium, all the way to create serotonin. You'll also see that serotonin is the precursor to melatonin, which makes you sleep properly. If you've got a discrepancy between the amount of stress you have and the vitamins and nutrients available there, and they'll be sucking away from your happy hormones, like serotonin, you'll also might have an issue with either hypersomnia, so you sleep too much, or you might have an issue with not getting enough sleep, insomnia. This could all be related to the nutrients that get built to make your stress hormones. The last one is Gaba. Gaba is your neurotransmitter that looks after your connection with reality and how you respond to certain things. So one day, for instance, someone drops a cup next to you and it falls into your handbag or your suit, and you're, oh, that's okay, no worries, it's just an accident. The next day, the exact same thing happens, and all of a sudden you're in a fluster, can't handle it, blood pressure goes up, everything else goes up. That disconnection with reality, that disproportionate reaction, is a GABA imbalance at that point in time. So again, if we can flood our system and look after those nutrients, zinc, Bs, magnesium and C, then we don't have the external and systemic issues that we might have if we're only using that stress pathway and not supporting it with the vitamins and nutrients it needs. So that's your happy hormones.